Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone on this Monday evening. Welcome to Let's Talk. So basically, like we did last week, we are going to have guests on, and we are going to talk about whatever you guys want us to talk about. So I'm going to start inviting the guests on that I know are coming on. So I'll start sending the emails out. But for the rest of you, I will put the link in if anybody that hasn't been on now. I want to try and mix it up a bit. If you haven't been on before, please come on. Hold on, I'm trying to find Father here. Yeah, lift it out. I'll be with you now. Just give us a second. Actually, I thought I had his email here handy. Sorry about this, folks. Just give us a second. I thought I had his email handy here. The Nerd Father, it's only noon here. Do us a favor, Father. Could you send us your email again on DM, please, in Twitter, if you wouldn't mind. Thanks. No, I'm not going to post the link yet. I'm going to wait until I get the panel on that I have, and then I'll post the link then, because I have invited some guests on. So I want to get them on first, and then we can bring 10 people on, remember, but obviously I have actually asked some people to come on. So there we go. I knew it was that. Just give us a second there, folks. I just have to do something real quick. So I'll get the first guest on, and then I'll have to actually do something for the wife there real quick. So if you could just bear with me for 2 seconds. I should have actually waited a minute or two before I went live, but you know me, I'm a stickler for going live on time. I'm doing this for you, and you won't even talk to.
Sorry, zoners. I can't drain the pasta.
Right, we're back. Sorry about that. Right, I'm just sending email. So I've sent you that email, Father. If Rabbi is in the chat, I'm also going to send him. I did actually ask him if he wanted to join. Let me see, actually, did he reply back? We'll just send him the link anyway. He can pop in if he wants to. Right, hold on. There's something I have to do. Right, we'll do a few shout outs because that kills a bit of time. Let's see who's in the chat. Right, so we've got Father in the studio now waiting. So hold on, I just want to text. Where is he? Where are you? There. Right, I've let him know that an email has been sent. Anyway, let me see. Any news? No, this is not a stream for news. This is just basically I'm going to bring on a few guests, and we're just going to basically talk whatever you guys want to talk about. So if there's anything that has happened, movie wise, TV show wise, that you would like us to talk about, that's basically what we're going to be doing today. It's just random topics, really. We don't have to stick to any particular comment. So if you've never been on the panel before, I'm about to put the link in the chat. If you want to come on, you can come on. Now, I'm just going to give a word of warning. Obviously, if you come on just to insult any of the hosts or any of the guests or myself, you'll be removed permanently. We're not going to have any of that. But if you have any questions or any thoughts that you'd like to get out there, you are more than welcome to come on and express those views. No problem whatsoever. Once it's kept civil, yeah, and respectful, yeah. So we'll bring on Air Force guests because he has been waiting. He has been waiting, and he's only back off his vacation. Oh, he's grand. He said he's grand. Well, we'll bring him on anyway. Are you ready to come on, Father? Yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll bring him on anyway. But we've got the nerd father with us. He's back from his vacation, so he might have a story or two to tell us anyway. Hello.
Not really.
None.
The only story I have is that I've been back now for about a little over 2 weeks, and I'm not sick, so that's good.
Well, that's good news. That is absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
fantastic.
you figure being on a plane with a few hundred people and on the beach with a few hundred people, thankfully no symptoms.
Well, that's good news. I'm glad to hear that. So you look like you had a good time anyway.
Yeah, I did. It was first. So I went to seminary in Philadelphia, and This was the first time I've been able to get back to see my classmates in probably 2 years.
Wow. Yeah,
so,
I haven't.
Yeah, Philly's an awesome town.
Yeah. Well, it looked like you did have a great time anyway, because we've seen a couple of your photos and stuff, and you definitely did.
Well, the only downside was Jersey. So we did a week at the Jersey Shore, and they still, because of the beer bug, they still have the restaurant restrictions.
Yeah.
So you have to eat outside, which means if you went to the Lobster House, they wanted to get people in and get people out so that they keep the customers going. So you couldn't have a really good lobster dinner, which sucked because that's the one time of the year I'll splurge on something.
Just to say, because there's someone in the chat, I did a stream with David Travels Through Time. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do. David, has been in the chat for a while now. Last few months, we got to know him. Did a stream with him. He does impressions, by the way, of doctors and companions. You should check them out. We did a stream anyway. He wants me to let you all know, and if you could subscribe to his channel. And yes, David, you can put the link in the chat, no problem whatsoever. Go ahead, pal. I'm just waiting to see if there's any more people going to come on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the link in the live chat as well. So as I said, if you're respectful and you have you have something you want to say, this is your opportunity. And I hope you like the background that I have. I've been experimenting with these little backgrounds, and as you can see, we've got the logos up on the top. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Peter Capaldi's logo. It's only up until Matt Smith, which is unfortunate. But the background is basically the world, and you can't see it there, but the TARDIS actually comes across the screen. So it's actually a nice little thing. So as I said, the link is in the chat. If you haven't been on the panel before, some of you have that art in the chat. We're trying to mix it up a little bit, so if you haven't and you'd like to come on, this is your opportunity. Father, is there anything, actually, while we're waiting, is there anything you'd like to bring up? Is there any news that caught your eye this week that you'd like to bring to the attention to people?
Lower Deck sucks. I watched the first episode on YouTube, and I didn't get a laugh. Well, the only laugh, it was kind of a smirk maybe, was during the opening credits where the ship is fleeing from the Borg while everybody else is engaging.
Yeah, I'll being honest, right? I'm 2 episodes in. It's not even funny. I mean, if
No,
it
it
was
isn't.
funny, I'd say okay, but there's no laugh out loud moments. It's absolutely.
Well, let me see. I have on my Facebook page. I'll have to see if I can bring it up on this. I'm trying to work on a video for my review, and my cat's in the way right now.
It's okay.
It's. I was basically saying my thoughts are: if you want animated Star Trek, stick with the original. The original animated series is pretty good.
I've been watching the original the last couple of nights actually. I'm near the
That's
end.
Your first time?
Fourth season. No, I grew up watching it, but it's been about 10 years since I actually sat down and watched it. And it's on Netflix, but obviously they've kind of updated the effects on it. So it looks a lot better and a lot cleaner. But I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's pure Trek. I mean, you're not going to get any.
They got the original voices.
Yeah. Right, we've got another guest about to join us. Super John.
Hey Noel, how are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How are you?
I changed my avatar. I done a drawing of Tom Baker.
I love it. I love it. Look at that father. He did that himself.
Oh, hold on. I found the video. I'm just trying to bring it up. The one clip from Star Trek, the animated series I love.
Are we allowed to throw that up now, Father?
The what?
Are we allowed to throw it up? Are you gonna share it on the screen? Is it?
Yeah, I am. The problem is I have like 300 videos on my Facebook page. Unfortunately, most of them are like Looney Tunes. There it is. Okay, let me see. Give me a sec.
Will we be? What I'm saying is, will we be okay to show this on my channel now? It's not going to get copyright.
Oh, that I don't know. I do not know. I tell you what, I'll send it to you via DM.
Right.
Or I'll put it in the private, see what you think.
Right. That'll be better, I think, because
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we have to be careful. You know what they're like.
Oh yeah.
Very touchy lately. Very, very touchy lately, they are.
I know there was a question that addressed it to me. I think I've addressed this before about Doctor Who taking place during the biblical period. I myself would like to see them avoid doing that. Mostly because the idea is, what if the Doctor encountered Jesus, and then that kind of gets into the area of religion. Is Jesus who he says he is, or is he just one of many different figures? I like the hands-off approach to that.
Yeah, that would be it'd be an interesting one, all right. I have to say.
It would be, but it just because of who I am and my beliefs, I think it would be a lot easier if they didn't go there. Because if you wanted to go down that road, then we could have the Doctor encounter a certain prophet who shall not be named here.
Yeah. Oh dear, we won't mention that. How are you, Super John? Is there anything like the highlight seems that we've got you on? Is there anything that you've seen in the world of fandom or the world of TV or movies that you'd like to bring up?
No, not at the moment. No. I was talking about Doctor Who adventures there. I would like to see a proper Doctor Who adventure with the Doctor and the Titanic.
Oh, we did get Voyage of the Damned, but I get what you're saying. A proper, historical version of it.
See, I would have loved. See if Matt Smith was still the Doctor or Peter Capaldi was still the Doctor. Like they took the crew to Belfast and done filming around Belfast with the past and the future meeting.
Yeah.
That would have been a good story for Doctor Who.
Actually, that's not
getting me. It's getting me in the mood to watch Time Bandits for that scene.
Yeah,
I like that scene in Time Bandits. But they had the funnels of the Titanic blue. if you noticed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really good film, that Time Bandits. I thought that David Warner was in Time Bandits, and I thought he would have made a good master, and a very kind of creepy, kind of scary way.
Reminds me, I got to put that on. Sorry, I'm working on my list of top 10 British shows that I love the best. That reminded me of John's.
How far have you got in the list?
Well, this is now 11. I got to add Life on Mars.
Right. Don't ruin it and tell us what order you put them in, because then it'll ruin your video. But yeah, Life on Mars is a good choice. I don't know if you've seen them, so I'll just name a few British shows, and all you just have to say is yes or no if they're on your list.
Yeah.
Only Fools and Horses.
I started.
Right. Good show though. Once you get to the end of it, it's satisfied. That it's one of the best.
I'm in season 1 right now.
Lovely. Have you seen One Foot in the Grave?
Love it.
Right, fantastic show.
I feel like he's my spirit animal.
Keeping Up Appearances.
I never could get into it. It was one of those that was on PBS.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. I'm gonna have to try it again.
Let me see. Another British show. I'm just trying to think of ones that are out there. Hello.
The what?
Hello.
Oh yeah. I have never seen a full episode. I would like to see it.
Oh my!
I like the premises of it.
I'm being honest with you. I'd love to see you do a watch along of Hello. It's and obviously we will be doing Father Ted at some stage with you. But
that's another one I forgot to put on. Now I'm up to 12. The one that I don't know. I don't know if many Americans.
A joint production between Ireland and England, so you can choose whether it's English or Irish. Of course,
I will say,
so I say it's English, but there you go. That's controversial.
I will say 3 of my favorites. Well, 2 of my favorites would be The Avengers and Black Books. Have you seen Black Books?
Yeah, I have. With what's his name, Dylan? What's his name? Yeah.
But the other one that I don't think a lot of Americans have seen the British version is House of Cards.
House of Cards. There's a British version of House of Cards.
Yeah.
Wow. I only thought it was the American version with Kevin Spacey.
I actually like the British one. I mean, until the American version was really good up until the things came out about Spacey. And honestly, the partway through the 4th season, the 5th season sucked. But of course, Spacey was gone and everything was going to crap. But the British version was pretty good. A little darker.
Wow. And I actually thought the American version was very dark, but there you go. Well, yeah, I'll check that out myself. I didn't even know it was a British originally. There you go. So Leland said it was British originally. Didn't even know that. So yeah. I'll check that out because I did like the event. But I'm like you, like you, Father. When all the stuff came out about Kevin Spacey, I actually stopped watching the show because,
But the thing I'm thinking of,
I couldn't finish it, to be quite honest with you. But apparently now, since then, the charges have been dropped. So I mean,
that doesn't remove the taint.
People will say that doesn't mean he's actually innocent. I know that, I get that, but yeah, I'm actually annoyed that I don't know what happened at the end of his run on House of Cards, but I don't really care now. It kind of has tainted my opinion of him because up until then, let's be honest, Kevin Spacey was up there as one of the greats. He's a absolutely terrific actor. He's ever been in. And even if the film hasn't been the greatest, he has just been absolutely fantastic. I'm actually like, I'm gutted I couldn't watch it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'm gutted I just couldn't see the end of House of Cards the way it ended. So I'll watch the British one because I'll get some sort of closure on it, won't I?
Oh, the British version's totally different than the American. The ending is just like the American version of Life on Mars. I loved the American version up until the very last episode.
Yeah. Well, I'll check it out anyway, man. It'd be worth. We're watching new shows now at the moment on Netflix.
I'm sorry, I faced out.
No, Ted, calm down.
Did my comment on the last episode of the American Life on Mars came through?
No, sorry about Ted.
Okay, no, that's okay. My lag sometimes goes like in the little circle and it blacks out. Life on Mars, the American version was good up until the very last episode. It's totally different than the British version. And I was much happier with the British version. The thing that sucks is in America, we can't get Ashes to Ashes.
Yeah. Good show.
Well, I have to get the region-free DVD player if I want to watch it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm surprised that, that multi-region Blu-ray players or DVD players are not as, because they're very expensive and they shouldn't be. They I mean, all technology like that, it should be easy for us to get. And it is unfair because there's some wonderful box sets that you probably would like to get, but just can't because of the fact that the different region and it's not released over there, which is a bit unfair, to be quite honest with you. Has happened to us as well, though. There'll be box sets that you have that we don't have over here. So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. I used to have one. I used to have a multi-regional DVD player, and then it didn't last very long. Let's just say, yeah. But
now I gotta ask. In Ireland, or you're Northern Ireland, right?
No, Republic.
Oh, you're the Republic. Okay. Do they have the license fee over there?
Yeah, we have a license fee, yeah.
Okay, because I bought a VPN for the first time, and I created a fake email. Well, they don't know what my email is. So I told a little fib. I did click on the button that I do have a license fee, and I found a London zip code that I put in for like BBC iPlayer.
Right. Yeah. We won't say it. Yeah. Shh. That never happened, guys. Yeah. That was all a dream.
Never heard it.
Right, we have someone else waiting. I'll bring him on because he had me on guesting on his channel yesterday, and he can give his channel a bit of a plug as well. And I have put the link in, and I see there's more people joining us. If you want to come on the panel, you've never been on the panel before. I know we've had most of these guys on the panel, but that can't be helped. I'm only messing, guys. But if you haven't been on the panel, please come in. Please come in. Right, let's bring the rest of the guests on, will we? We'll bring them in. It's David Travels Through Time. And we let him. I'll tell you what, David, because I think your Colin Baker impression is great. Why not introduce yourself in the style of Colin Baker? So go ahead, knock yourself out.
Sure.
Lee, the link is in the chat if you want to join us.
All right, so I'll do it like this. All right.
Right, so we need to turn in the volume.
Yeah, but you know.
Hello. Where is Perry? Where have you taken her? Come on. Where's Perry?
Fantastic. If someone's sound is coming in, someone needs to turn their sound on. Because up until then, let's be honest, Kevin Spacey is up there as one of the greats. Wow, that's...
Yeah, it's not mine.
It's not mine either.
We just hit mute just in case.
It's literally you.
I think it might be David. David, I had to mute you there. I think you might have a window open, pal. Just check it first there, pal, because and when you have it done, just nod your head. I'll bring on our next guest anyway. And as I said, Lee, the chat, I mean, the link is in the chat if you want to join. Problem being. Right, we'll bring him on. The English longbow. No, I always get that wrong. He's not called the English longbowman anymore. He just calls us Colin P. But I actually liked his name before he changed his name back. So I'm just going to call him the English longbowman because that's my favourite name of his. So it's Colin.
Hi guys.
There he is. Yay.
I changed it because I was on a couple of other streams and it was a bit confusing for people who didn't know who I was. So I just changed it up there. And I must have done a massive cling, so I just went into StreamYard and I had to redo the name and the rest of it anyway.
Right, we still have some little interference with David. So David, we'll leave you there just for a second until you sort it out because there's still some interference, right, pal? But as soon as you sort it out, we'll bring you in. So we won't remove you. We'll leave you there. We'll leave you there just for now. And as I said, the link, I'm going to put it in one last time. The reason why I'm doing it is because I know how to do it thanks to the beautiful wife. So, this is fantastic. Thanks. Woohoo! There it's in again. If you want to join, go for it. Right, guys. For anybody that's new on the panel, is there anything that has happened in the world of fandom or the world of entertainment that you would like to bring up? And you guys in the chat, if you have any questions for any of the panelists, please put them and I'll throw them up on the screen there and we'll try to get through as many of your questions as we can. This is basically, we just talk about anything we want. It's not restricted to Doctor Who, but we can talk about Doctor Who if people choose to talk about Doctor Who. Star Trek obviously is the big thing now with Lower Decks. If you want to talk about that, you can talk about that. Or if there's anything completely different that we haven't touched upon that you would like us to touch upon, let us know. So guys, I'll ask you actually in the chat, actually on the panel before we get any questions in the chat. Is there anything else? There he changed it again just for now, the English longbow. I love it. So, Colin, have you got anything you would like to discuss? Is there anything that has happened that you think needs to be brought to everybody's attention?
Not really. I haven't been paying that much. One of the reasons I did want to put on is I don't think I've ever spoken to Father Chris or directly before Father. I'm sure I know I've chatted in chat before. You're saying about English shows. I'm thinking quite a few of your shows are actually based on ours.
I know.
I'm thinking classic ones like I think Sanford and Son and one that Archie Bunker was in. I think a few of them are based on ours.
Oh yeah. I will say the American version of The Office was good up until maybe the third or fourth season, because the American version started to focus more on life outside of The Office.
Not a show I ever saw, I must admit. I did manage to make my way through the first episode of the American version of The Tomorrow People. But then I grew up with the original, so I'm trying to think how many, if there's been much traffic the other way though, where we've taken something, an American TV show, made a
Law and Order UK.
Say again?
Law and Order UK. I have the second season on DVD, which was pretty good.
Yeah, this is true. Well, I would suggest.
I will say, I don't know if anybody knows, they tried to make an American version of the IT Crowd with Moss, and it was pure crap.
Yep, and they've also made quite a few a few bad calls with things like Spaced, Faulty Towers. I think that was Pain, wasn't it?
That's the other one I forgot from my list.
I think
I'm up to 13 now.
I think Coupling was Stephen Moffat's comedy thing. I think that was based on Friends.
Hated Friends.
But Coupling is funny.
Welcome, mate.
Hello.
Nice
they made it. We tried to make an English version of the Golden Girls. I really don't.
Oh dear.
About But yes, Chris, you're right. I've forgotten about Three's Company.
Yikes.
Actually, it is an interesting topic of discussion. Remakes from the US and how they stand up against their English counterparts and vice versa.
Well,
So-
English comedy is completely different.
True.
To American comedy.
Well,
I'll explain why, but carry on. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's give a few examples. So there's Shameless USA, and then we've got Shameless the UK version. Now, I've watched both. I prefer the English version, obviously. Has anybody on this panel actually saw both shows? Actually,
I've seen bits
no.
of the American version.
Right.
It was all right. It's not Shameless,
Yeah.
but I think because it's a very peculiarly English setup. I know they sort of made it like the redneck kind of thing, and it's just like, yeah, okay, kind of. But I mean, it's.
Yeah, the other
No
one,
one does drab. No one does drab and dreary like the English.
No, I agree with you because the UK version I felt is a lot more grittier. Obviously, it's set in the UK in a council estate, a housing estate, I should say, and some of the stories might seem mad in it, but believe it or not, that's probably some of the stuff that would go on.
It's pretty believable, yeah.
I will say.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I was going to
ahead.
say, I was thinking of with being in drag got me thinking of Monty Python, and one of the things I always loved showing my kids was the argument sketch with John Cleese.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
Didn't come here for an argument.
Yes, you did.
Look, this isn't an argument. An argument is reasonable stating of opposing facts.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Doesn't have to be.
No.
Behind you.
Right, Dave has.
Bye.
Bring him back in.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. This is a 30-minute argument, or did you book the full hour?
Just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't pay me. Yes, I did.
Right, just hang on there.
You do it in my free time.
So yeah, I just wanted to say what the difference between British comedy and American comedy is, and it's very simple. In America, you've got a team of writers, about 35 of them in the room, and they're all going to come up with snappy jokes, like boom, 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 keep the audience laughing, and What the British do is they do the slow burn. So you get one writer, maybe, or two, maybe three max, who write the thing, and then it's building up the situation, building up the setup, and then delivering the setup, and then the laughter runs, and then unless you're like Lee, what's his face, who did that? What's that thing? Lee
Evans? Matt?
No, not Lee Evans. The other comedian guy. I don't know. He did a thing, Staying In. I think it was called Staying In.
I was going to say the example that comes to mind.
That's like line after line. Sorry.
It's not. I don't think it's anybody I would know.
The example that came to mind for me on that would be the Faulty Towers, The Builder, where Basil threatens to shove a gnome up a certain body part, and the last scene you see him is carrying the gnome with. If you remember that one, and then he's like, I'm going to go visit the builder, and then I might go to Canada.
Yeah, I mean the thing is as well. I think in Britain we use we don't have the hero. The main focus is a loser. He's always a loser. And this is why we find that really funny. America don't find that funny usually.
No,
I think that's.
It's not.
Until they were introduced to things like Faulty Towers and The Office and things like that, they were like, "This is so different," and it's funny, but we don't know why. But we always make our heroes fucking losers. Sorry, Father.
Yeah.
they are losers. and I think that's because it gives us someone to look down on, but it also gives us some sort of pathos as well, and we love to feel guilty, I think, about finding people's situations appalling. But it's a class-based thing, I think, as well in this country.
You have to remember what the actual root of the word pathetic means. It doesn't mean lose, it means pathos. Pathos is being sad about something rather than, you're pathetic.
Well, I guess if you have heroes that's too perfect, it's kind of boring too, right? If they have no flaws or nothing.
Yeah, because if you look at Scrubs, for instance, you got a loser in there, but he's always like the good guy, and he's always like kind of winning, and he's kind of like he's up against the boss, and he's gonna do the.
I would say that JD's a loser. You want a good loser on Scrubs? Ted the lawyer.
Yeah, he's a loser, but he's still a good-looking guy, kind of thing, and he's still kind of clean cut, and he's still gonna kind of get one over.
True.
Our guys just generally lose, you know. They constantly keep losing, you know. Faulty keeps losing. I mean, there's like occasional wins, but like very rare. And then there's Blackadder. He kind of scrapes by through his cunning.
Or even All Creatures, right? With Tristan, right? He never gets the girl at the end, right? He always tries to get a new girlfriend and all that stuff.
Right, but yeah, I mean, I think it could be an influence of British comedy in there. But you know, it's definitely a two-way street. I mean, we're definitely influenced. I mean, I loved Cheers growing up because we had a lot of American comedy here. And that was hilarious. I love that. I love Golden Girls.
Looks like
Nanny.
Is Noel muted?
I think he is.
Norma's in it.
Yeah.
He may just be stepping back to let us take over so we can have his dinner or something.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, we love American comedy here. Probably for quite different reasons why you love British comedies, but we're a culture divided by the same language, different cultures.
There you go.
But I think the human condition is such that we find new ways to finding things funny, and I think that does translate.
Well,
let's ask people in the chat there for just a second. If you guys have any questions, get your questions in now, and I'll throw them on the screen. Yeah. So, problem being, there's one addressed there to you, so I'll just put that up there. But hold on, right, get your questions in. I'm putting up on the screen there. Get your questions in. So there we go. So we've got one for problem big. So, you said English humor relies on the protagonists blaming themselves. Does that mean
everyone blaming them?
They're all secretly Catholic.
Her father can answer that one. He's a religious dude.
Yeah.
Where's Rabbi when we need him to answer that one as well?
That's it.
Oh, Rabbi, yeah. We need the Rabbi.
Actually send Rabbi an invite. Either he's either offline because he hasn't read me messages, but he normally would be awake now. He's probably just had an early one, which is understandable. But I'll send him the link, so if he does pop in, it's there for him. He'll pop in. Anybody got questions for the panel? This is how it works. So get your questions in. It gives everybody a chance on the panel to actually have a say.
Ask me anything. Ask me.
And stop Lee and I overrunning everything.
I think the last question could be sort of addressing Father Ted, maybe, but I think that's Irish, so
it is Irish.
Chris just said, so I just want to pour it up because Chris obviously is our mob, but if he does disappear, it's because of a thunderstorm is rolling in. So Chris, you just look after yourself. If we don't see it in the chat, we know.
Noel, is it cool if I do a few impressions?
If you want to knock yourself out, man, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to do Crichton, and then I'm going to do the 6th and 7th Doctor. Well, where do all the calculators go? No, you've never heard of Silicon Heaven?
I was singing different Crichton, but excellent. Tell me what you passed it. Excellent.
A friend of mine did comedy lessons with the guy who played Crichton. What's his name? Stand-up comedy. Robert Llewellyn. And he got so angry at him. Like, my friend got angry at him. He's like, just teach me this. And he was getting really rowdy. He just walked out. Oh dear. Yeah.
You don't even know what a Peri is, do you? A Peri was a very magical fairy in urban mythology, but before it became good, it was evil. That's what you are, Peri. Utterly evil. Not just that, a spy sent her to spy on me. We all know the fate of alien spies. In all my traveling throughout the universe, I've battled against the evil, against power-mad conspirators. I should have stayed here. The oldest civilization, decadent, degenerate, and run to the core. Ha! Power-mad conspirators, Daleks, Centaurs, Cybermen. They're still in the nursery compared to us. 10 million years of absolute power. That's what it takes to be really corrupt. Unseemly outbursts. If I hadn't seen the fate of robots, I hadn't thought of it. The High Council would have presumed we've been having the charade being held secret for several centuries. Oh, nothing but carrot juice, Mel. Anything but carrot juice, please, Mel. Anything but carrot juice.
Not bad. You have to work on your English accent, sir.
Really, that was pretty good.
Polite, polite spoken.
What's this?
Colin Baker is more polite spoken.
Well, he can be exasperating, Perry. But I mean, I can't do impressions at all, so I can shut up.
Well, I mean, what do you think was pretty good though?
I think you got the vibe. The vibe is important.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to think of his coat whenever you're doing it, because he's loud, he's boisterous,
I got the vibe. I just need to work on the accent a little bit more.
Performance with that.
Oh, the accent, yeah. You've got to look at the way the mouth is shaped when English people pronounce their vowels, and draw things out. They draw certain sounds out.
I had a few years ago. I was staying at a bed and breakfast when I was doing a reenactment show in Wales. The two ladies that ran it, one was an American, and I had a sudden, literal click like that. You should pardon the phrase, Father. Epiphany. What one of the main differences is between an English and American accent, and it's how they split multisyllabic words. My name is Colin, right? 2 syllables. In English, it's Col. In American, moves the L. They split it to.
Okay, now I'm gonna do McCoy. Here it goes. All right. All right. I am the car for that get tree and your worst nightmare. Come along, Ace. We got work to do. You're the Ronnie. Stay back. I'll have no part of your unethical experiments. That asteroid is entirely composed of strange matter. What monstrous experiments are you dabbling in now?
Yeah, you need to roll your R's a bit more.
But the acting, the tone of it was close.
What monstrous experiment are you dabbling in now?
Do you think the acting of the memorization is good though, right?
Yeah, but you need to think of tonality as well, because I think Sylvester's Doctor, when he's delivering very intense speeches, he sort of really rolls his R's. He gets really intense with that.
So which one do you think was better, the Crichton one out of all of them?
Oh, I like your Crichton. I think your Crichton is more spot on. Yeah. Listen, it's not to say that you're not doing good. It's what you need to do is you need to.
Yeah, thanks.
It's really important that you nail the accent, and that you need to do that. You need to break down every sound, all the sibilants, all the vowels, all the particular pauses and the speech pattern. Like someone like Sylvester McCoy has a different speech pattern to Colin Baker, for example. So if you analyze their breath, if you analyze where their teeth are, I know that sounds crazy, their tongue.
Yeah.
You have to really, really sort of observe and watch. I mean, if you can zoom in on them and just watch their facial movement and the way, because I think Colin Baker, he uses his mouth very, very much. Sylvester McCoy doesn't. Like if you watch Colin Baker, he'll have his mouth really, like when he's using the E sound, he just like really stretches his mouth. He's very, I mean, he's got a very, very animated face.
Well, thanks for your input, man. I appreciate your help.
That's all right. It's like you get yourself into the body, but also into the mind and the headspace. So you have to think about the sounds that he makes in his skull.
Yeah,
it's a visualization thing. I mean, recently I'd just been recording. Do you know the Sarah Jane Adventures?
Yeah.
Right, because I've been doing a recording. I've been playing the part of the trickster.
Oh, cool.
In the new audio drama from Black Love, and I had to really. I mean, the difficult thing with that, there's nothing much to go on other than his mouth because he's got no face. So I mean, you just listen to the sounds and you think, well, how can I duplicate that? So don't listen to what he's. Oh, he's on the way. Don't listen to what people are saying.
Okay.
But the sounds they make.
You see, I think with Tom Baker, he relaxes his tongue when he's speaking.
Yeah.
And he's actually if you hold your nose and then go deep into the back of your throat, you can. And the way he pulls it off is like a big huge roar in the back of his throat, and then it just comes out the mouth.
Yeah. Tom Baker. Tom Baker.
Yeah.
It's a weird way of saying Baker. It sounds like
right,
Baker.
Question on the screen, right, for everybody, the panelists. What is your favorite American comedy? So we'll start with Father Miller, obviously, and then we'll go to John. Your favorite American comedy, what would it be?
That's kind of a hard one to say. One of my favorite comedians, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, is Jack Benny.
Yeah.
From the 40s, 50s, and 60s. He had a radio show that you can find on like archive.org. It was like the top radio show at the time. I used to listen to it all the time when I was at work before the seminary. I was a web designer before going into the seminary. And being at the computer for 8 hours a day, that's all I listened to. So he made the transition from radio to television when television was new. And his television show was a big hit for like 12 years. You might recognize one of his coworkers was Mel Blanc.
The voice of Bugs Bunny and all the rest of that.
Yeah. Mel Blanc got his start on Jack Benny. So a lot, I mean, and he was one of the main characters of the Jack Benny radio show.
Oh, didn't know that.
So I'll try to put that in Twitter or something.
Yeah, send us a link.
Actually, let me see if I can find let me see. I'll see if I can find the link for one. I don't think it will be copyrighted.
There's a bit of trivia for you. Time Mechanic says Benny Hill named himself after Jack Benny.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Right, Super John, your favorite American comedy?
I don't know. I don't know if I really have my favorite American comedy, but I used to like Third Rock from the Sun. It was a comedy years ago.
Yeah, that's a great
one. It was very funny.
Well done. David Travels Through Time, your favorite American comedy?
I like a couple. Everybody Loves Raymond, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Me, I suppose it's well, I actually have two as well.
Okay.
The Big Bang Theory, and I have to be honest, I love Young Sheldon. I think it's hilarious. So them for me. He used to be Scrubs, but I'll go with those two because they're the most
Well,
recent.
Scrubs are good too. Yeah, I can see that.
So I'll go with the Big Bang Theory and.
If you like Scrubs,
Nice.
you'll like Green Wing it's a British comedy which is kind of like Scrubs but even crazier. It's got Michelle Gomez in it and
what about? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Face in Black Books.
Colin, your American choice.
I'd actually follow you recently, Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon. You did
Interesting.
like Third Rock from the Sun, but Big Bang Theory was the first one that came to mind when the question came up. And Young Sheldon, because it is one of them still going.
Yeah, it is.
Although I must admit, I don't watch very much TV at all these days. I watch very, very little.
And Lee.
Most of my stuff is quite old. You know, I love a lot of Cheers, Golden Girls. I mean, you can't beat that. The Nanny I loved. But I think my favorite has to be. It's quite. It's one that I don't think was shown in the UK, or it might have been shown on satellite. But I got into it when I was living in New York at the time. And so I was just watching. It's called News Radio, and it's got a guy from Kids in the Hall in it, and had Phil Hartman, who sadly got murdered by his wife. He was the voice of Troy McClure from The Simpsons, and he was in it, and he's just such a delight to watch. He is so funny. So I think that's just for him alone, really. He's his character, Bill McNeil. Hi, I'm Bill McNeil. It's like a news radio station. He's like the most pompous, sociopathic arsehole in the office block, and it's absolutely a joy to watch. It's just an ensemble cast. You've got Joe Rogan in there. You've got crikey. I can't remember the name of the people now, but it's so good. Like, if anyone ever gets to watch it, it's one of the funniest comedies. I swear to God, one of the funniest comedies out of America. It's amazing.
Fantastic.
Well, I was just gonna throw out. So, what do you guys think of American cartoons like Futurama, American Dad,
Love it.
South Park?
Yeah, quite good.
Love South Park. Absolutely love South
Futurama,
Park.
love
I think
South Park. I've never seen American Dad or
South Park
Family
has become funnier as it's gotten older. I think it's just become so completely on the nose. It's so I mean the way that you use allegory. Yeah, it's just so cleverly done. They don't hold back either. They're completely raw. Yeah, I think they were having fun with it at first, but now they're like deadly serious about it. But they also don't give a shit as much.
My favorites are Family Guy, American Dad. I love American Dad. Rick and Morty. Love Rick and Morty. Final Space.
I could get into that. It's too ADHD for me.
Yeah, I love about it. What else have we got?
All right, I gotta head out. I gotta help.
Futurama was fantastic. Futurama was definitely fantastic. Simpsons was up until season
7 or something.
Maybe, yeah. Early, yeah. And then it went to. I don't know how that show's still going. They should gracefully let it go now, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, we've lost one.
I got to throw out Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken.
I love Robot Chicken. Love Robot Chicken.
Anybody a fan of Bob
What? Sorry, I'm speaking over you again. Don't know it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'd expand that ever so slightly from cartoon to animation, and I just say 2 words. Well, actually, the first one is Rude, the priest in the house. Yeah, first one starts with F. And there's 2 words that actually go before that, but it's a particular animated movie of a few years ago.
Oh.
Team America.
Oh, yes, of course.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best version of Thunderbirds the Americans have ever done.
Yeah.
Best version of Thunderbirds the Americans have ever done.
Well, since we're talking puppets, there was an MTV
America World Police.
No, it was I think it was a Europe. I'm not sure if it was shown in America, but it was a short
An Indian Taxi.
a short puppet show that was based on Friends, but it's called Pets. If you ever watch Pets, it is vile and disgusting and full of sweary animal puppets. It's brilliant. You have to watch it. You can find them on YouTube, I think. Watch it because I think it's very popular in Italy, so there's a lot of dubbed versions in Italian. But if you can find Pets on YouTube, it is so funny. You got this dog. You got two dogs in there, a bald parrot and a filthy cat. Whose boyfriend left her, and she's just like really bitter about it. So you got the two dogs. I can't remember the names. One was oh god, it's so long ago since I've seen it. But they're like one's a really sort of snobby posh dog, and the other one's like a real common East End London pit bull or something. Trevor's the name of the people one, and it is vile. They live in this horrible house, and it's just filthy. And like there's episodes where they do LSD. There's ones where they
David had to leave us by the
black
way.
magic. It's just insane. It's really
just
good.
to let you know, David travels through time, had to leave us. So thanks for coming on. We really do appreciate it.
Good man. Working those voices. Keep working at it. 1,000 hours. That's what you do.
Disaster Area has put up MASH, Frasier, Soup, Mark and Mindy, and Taxi.
Oh, Soup.
Absolutely fantastic shows there.
Love those as well, growing up.
Frasier. Didn't watch Soup now, I have to be honest. Mark and Mindy, if everybody on the planet, I think, has seen Mark and Mindy.
Yeah.
And Taxi.
I grew up with that as a kid. I loved that. I absolutely
loved Mark and Mindy when I was.
Jake and the Hitman was another one I used to watch. Detective stories. Now we were into those, and what was the other one? The court case one, or the court drama one. So you had Jake and the Fat Man. What was the other one?
Oh, okay.
Ironside.
What?
Ironside.
Well, you got Matlock. You got Perry Mason.
Perry Mason. Yeah.
Perry Mason. I remember that. Columbo.
Doing an updated version.
Kojak.
Murder, She Wrote was another one I loved, even though it was so predictable. But my favorite of all the detective shows, though, for me, was Columbo.
Yeah, Columbo was
I couldn't get over his eye. He was cross-eyed all the time. This is weird.
Disaster.
There's a movie I'll have to recommend. There's so for the rabbi, I think you might be interested. A 1960s comedy by Blake Edwards, Pink Panther fame, called The Great Race.
Right, but if it doesn't have moves in
with Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Peter Falk.
Oh, brilliant!
And Natalie Wood.
Oh, wow!
It's basically like in the early 1900s. It's a race from New York to Paris.
No, I've seen that. I've seen it. Yes, yeah, I've seen it. Like what Wacky Races was built on, wasn't it?
Yeah, Happy Days. All the shows are coming in.
The Equalizer with Edward Woodward and the greatest.
Yeah, that reminds me. I gotta send another clip.
I don't think I've ever heard of Soup. If you mistyped Soap, that was fantastic.
Soap was great.
So the best, the only soap opera I ever watched. But Mork and Mindy, I think. Mork and Mindy, I think, have one of the most telling, poignant, conversations ever. It sums up the way we progress. You've got, you've got Mindy's grandma, and she's feeling lonely, and Mork ages himself to an old, the 70s, 80s makeup is right one, to an old man to make her feel better about herself. And at the end of it, he blows his cover. Because of course Mindy's the only person who knows she's an alien. He reveals he's an alien to the grandma, and the grandma just takes it in a stride. And Mork turns around and he says, I'm amazed, I'm surprised. He's surprised that she can actually just accept. And her lines are I paraphrase slightly. In my lifetime, we've gone from walking on the ground and not being able to fly to walking on the moon. If we can go out there, I don't see why you can't come in here. And that for me was, I mean, we can go what 70s, 80s. Absolutely, really impressive line. Even though it was from comedy, I thought it was a really poignant line.
Here, actually, the time mechanic just put up in relation to what Problem Bing was saying about Peter Fox.
Yeah.
He had a false eye, so Charles had to check, and so it was removed when he was 3 years of age. So he's had.
Ooh.
That's why he was always squinty.
All right. So basically, it's a false eye. He's had a false eye ever since he was a kid. So yeah, there you
Explain
go.
it. But as a kid, I didn't understand that.
We got a $5 super chat. Good evening from across the pond. One of my favorite shows was the sci-fi comedy Eureka. I'm interested to know your opinions. Thank you. And I suppose since they put up a super chat, guys, I would like you to actually answer that one if you wouldn't mind. So we'll start with you, Father Miller.
I have never seen it. I mean, I know of it. I know it was on the Sci-Fi Channel for a long time. I just never saw it.
We renamed it a town called Eureka over here for some reason.
Okay, you'll be best placed to answer that because I've never heard of it. I mean, as a kid, there was
I have heard of Eureka, but I've never seen it myself. To be honest with you, I have actually heard of it.
there was a school
Well, if I
education
remember,
program called Eureka.
it's a town where wacky things happen.
Channel.
Yeah.
They showed it on the Twitter. Go ahead, Father. Sorry.
Oh no, sorry. If I remember, it's basically a town where wacky and weird things happen.
Yeah.
Well, like a League
I
of
just was
Gentlemen.
never drawn to it.
No,
Is that like a League of Gentlemen?
it was set up sometime in the 30s or 40s, I think, by the American government, and it's literally a town of geniuses. You get things like they allude to the fact that the first atomic bomb wasn't detonated in 1945 at White Sands.
Wow.
Eureka had done it 5-6 years earlier. This sort of thing.
Oh.
And it's a sort of everyman comedy because it starts off. The main hero is the sheriff,
Right.
and he's just it starts off in the first year. He's driving with this young juvenile delinquent prisoner handcuffed in the back of his car, and he goes down his dark road, and he sees a car going the other direction, and it's himself in it. That pays off at the very end of the last series. You find out shortly that the kid is actually his daughter, and he solves a mystery where someone's gone missing because there's always science gone wrong, and as a result of him solving this mystery, he ends up actually getting made. He's a U.S. Marshal. He ends up getting appointed as sheriff of Eureka, and from then on you go all the way through that.
And when was this made?
Only 2000s, I think.
Stranger Things, doesn't it?
It's not that old. It is not that old. Let's put it this way. Will Wheaton was in it, and he doesn't look any different to what he does today. So was Felicia Day.
Right.
It wasn't that long ago. It was definitely maybe 2010s.
Will Wheaton getting down, isn't it?
They also did a couple of crossovers with Warehouse 13 as well.
Oh, I watched that.
Yeah. They did a couple of crossovers up with Eureka and Warehouse 13.
Warehouse 13 sister series called Warehouse 13, says Chris as well. Yeah, so Chris is aware of it as well. Actually, it does sound interesting. So it sounds a bit like a Stranger kind of Things vibe, without the 80s thing, you know. Does sound like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, it starts off because the thing is that Sheriff Carter is not stupid, but everybody else, almost literally everybody else in the town is a freaking genius. So but he, of course, he's got the experience of being a cop and a marshal, and he's got the common sense. So he approaches. A perfect example is minor spoilers, but you start off the first episode. There's an explosion of sorts, and they think someone's been. It's affected time. and it's ripped this. I think it's a trailer home apart, and they're looking for this young kid, and everyone's going around, and you've got these big wigs from the Department of Defense and everything going around. You've got the head of Global Dynamics, which is the company that runs the town. And it turns around, and they have no idea where this kid is. And Carter says, well, the first thing I would do is make sure my subject's really missing. He opens up this trunk, and there's the kid hiding in it. It's that sort of thing, is that he's got the direct common sense, which the big brains don't always have because they're thinking so much higher. Yes, yes, to a loop, yeah. I loved it.
Interesting.
I think it was cut short. The last few seasons, or the last couple of seasons, the last few episodes were a bit odd on and off. They had some odd things. Now, one bit was really interesting though, was they went back in time, and for once, what they did affected their present. So they went back to the 1940s. That's the one. They went back to the 1940s, and when they got back to the 2000s, things changed. A few things had changed quite dramatically. It was very well done.
So it was cancelled after season 5.
Season 5. Oh yeah, yes. Season 5 was a short one. Yes. Yeah.
There you go, guys. That's a bit of what it is. That looks like they're in the 1940s there or whatever. Colin said looks pretty like that. All right. There's the post. There's poster for. So yeah, some of the actors I look familiar. Well, he does. As for the rest of them, no. Well, he does actually. I don't know what he was in, but the rest of them.
Colin Ferguson is also a comedian. The guy that plays Sheriff Carter on the right. The chap on the left, I've just brain farted again on his name. I had his name went on my head about 30 seconds ago. The girl is Sally Whitfield Richardson or something. Her name is. Yeah, it is. I thought it was really good personally. Some storylines I thought were a bit okay. I really did like it. And I that was
there seemed to be pretty good. We've got a few 8.9s there. 8.9. You know, and it's after getting an overall rating of 7.9. So anything above 7 is usually classed as decent enough. So yeah,
Moonlighting. Yes, Kevin Riggs puts Moonlighting there. I loved Moonlighting as a kid. I absolutely loved that show. There was a little
as well.
Yeah, that was Bruce Willis.
Pushing Daisies was another great show. Pushing Daisies was a show that I loved that was cancelled too soon. That was a really unusual, crazy thing, which I really liked. That's another one.
I actually quite like it. Anybody remember Space Above and Beyond?
Space Above and Beyond.
First show I ever caught was captured after 1 year. US Marines in space.
No. Although I did see the American version of Red Dwarf was
Space Above Beyond wasn't a comedy. It was semi-good. It was about basically. It was quite similar in some ways to the book Walter Levert and to the degree the film Starship Troopers, but it's the thing it suffered from my point of view in a way was it suffered from the thing that almost anything where your main organisation is a massive group, and we're talking, I say in this case, the United States Marine Corps. Right? No disrespect to the Marine Corps whatsoever, but you've got 5 or 6 lead characters, and in this particular case, they're all in one platoon. So they're trained as pilots, and then the next week they're doing basic grunt infantry missions. You know, it suffered a little bit from that in that you had to try to get all these things in. But it was cancelled after one season on a cliffhanger ending, which is what made from which point onwards, when it got to the last series of an episode of a series, I recorded it. I skipped to the end, and if it said to be continued, or it was obvious it was a cliffhanger ending, I didn't bother until the next series came along. And I did that with just about anything that came out of the States.
Space Force is good. Have you seen Space Force on Netflix?
I saw the first one of those. I've had a few people recommend it. I'm going to give it another go.
It's really good. No, it's really good. It's kind of clever because it's got a lot of woke tropes in there, but they kind of turn them on their head. And I found that really fast. I was rolling my eyes, oh no, it's going to be woke.
Yeah.
And then they subvert it in a way that makes it really funny. You just think they're poking fun at this. So there are some really great moments. I highly recommend it, actually. And Santa Clarita Diet is also a good Netflix comedy as well. Watch that. That's brilliant. Not woke at all. It's just damn funny. It's family. The wife gets turned into a zombie and she's trying to hide it from her family. Then she gets into all kinds of crazy. Then her husband finds out and he's like trying to come to terms with the fact that she's now a zombie and that she eats human flesh and things like that. So they start going after like really bad people, and the neighbor gets it. He becomes quite an interesting character. I highly recommend Santa Clarita Diet and Space Force. I think those are two really good comedies on Netflix at the moment that you can watch.
Someone put up Quincy. Yeah, I remember Quincy.
Yeah.
Oh, that depressed me so much. I hate hospital drama. I like hospital comedies, but I don't like hospital dramas.
There's an American one that I loved, Emergency, from the early 70s. It's basically focused on a paramedic crew.
No, we had in this country, we had Emergency Ward 10 back in the 60s to 70s. Then we had, I really did like the first few seasons of Casualty when it first came out, because it was concentrating on the night shift. It expanded it, gave Holby City, and I kind of lost interest in it.
Yeah, it's too depressing.
Yes,
EastEnders in a hospital, you know.
Yeah.
Time Mechanic mentions Dick Spanner, which was a British animation, stop motion animation thing with a robot detective. It's very film noir. And it was on a youth channel thing, wasn't it?
What about St. Elsewhere? Are you guys familiar with St. Elsewhere from the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. Isn't that in the sort
That's one of the most
vein as,
well, it has one of the most WTF endings ever for a TV show.
Well, more than Blake 7.
I've never seen Blake 7, but so St. Elsewhere, it's a hospital drama that turns out at the end of like 5 or 6 seasons to have been the dream of an autistic kid who has a snow globe of the hospital.
That's great. Well, that's kind of a bit like your Dallas thing, isn't it? It's all a dream.
Yeah, Dallas was messed up. I remember watching the finale. That was messed up.
Was it Dallas or was it something else where they had the alien thing, kind of like spaceship?
No, Dallas was with the devil at the very end.
But there was like
that was Dallas, which went into the Colbys, and I'm embarrassed as hell.
That was Dynasty.
I can remember it.
Oh, I could remember that.
Yes, it was Dynasty.
In the Colbys.
Sometimes,
but I'm still wait. I'm still in shock here, Father. You haven't seen Blake 7?
No. Is that British or American?
Your next target. Lee, you love classic. To get into Blake 7.
Yeah, you love classic Doctor Who, don't you, Father?
Yes, I do.
Then you'll love Blake 7. It could almost be in the same universe. Though, in fact, Terry Nation, who created the Daleks, created Blake 7. So it's a must watch.
It's streaming.
It used to be on typical. It used to be on YouTube until very, very recently, until BBC took it all down. I think there's a few episodes still up there. You might be able to find. It on other media.
Well, I got
other
iPlayer.
video platforms. It's not on iPlayer. This is the thing. The BBC in their wisdom haven't got it on BritBox, and they don't have it in iPlayer, which is outrageous.
Well, that's the thing with BritBox. So we only have One Foot in the Grave up to the 4th season.
You've got Are You Being Served? And we don't have that on BritBox. And I'm really annoyed about
the box set because I'm afraid it was going to be canceled.
Yeah. But yeah, Blake 7, you've got to get hold of it. Even if you get the DVD, it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, it's Paul Darrow is
1978, 1981.
Yeah, Avon. Avon is the best character. You'll love him. You'll love him. For me, he's up there with Tom Baker as one of the greatest characters of all time. You know, the Fourth Doctor. Avon is
looks
right
like
up there with him.
Streaming on Dailymotion.
There you go.
So, yeah, that'll probably be one I'll have to watch on my second computer or hook the computer up to the TV to be able to watch.
It's 4 seasons, and this is the definition of a space opera. Okay, this is like it's like the antithesis. It's like the antithesis to Star Trek. So you've got a Federation, but the Federation's evil.
Ooh.
And it's basically how they discover how they say it's like the Dirty Dozen in space, and it's very Shakespearean in its sort of concepts. It's crazy. It's brilliant. The characters are just incredible. You'll love it. And it's got the sharpest writing in any TV series that I've ever seen. Like especially with Avon. The lines are so cuttingly sharp. It's a joy to watch. Absolute joy to watch.
I think it would best be summed up by the fact that you have to remember that this was back in the 70s, and you have to remember what was going on in the UK and Northern Ireland in the 1970s and 80s in particular. There was a quote from one of the lead actors to the effect that if you look at it from the point of view of the Federation, the heroes are the IRA. And that was the exact comparison he used. And that sums it up. It is so nuanced.
Yeah, very nuanced. But it also... Yeah, sorry, go on.
But yes,
it's on YouTube.
Yeah, the Federation definitely were the bad guys. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah. Someone said that.
It is on YouTube.
And disappeared, then it's come back again. It's odd. I've managed to find it on YouTube not long ago in the UK, so it's very strange. Seems to be there sometimes and sometimes not. No.
Yeah, but it's an absolute amazing show. I mean, you have to look past the effects and the costumes like you would with a classic Doctor Who story. But the scripts and the characters are what absolutely make it, and the beautiful Liberator ship. Great.
And just mentioned. Sorry.
I was going to say, and the other thing to do talking about Doctor Who,
Colin Baker's in it.
Well, yeah, don't make a drinking game of taking a drink every time you see a set or a quote of Wolf and Doctor Who. You'll be drunk the whole time. They are the same quarries, the same abandoned pet fuel stations, you name it.
In this country, the Democrat convention kicks off, and it would be tempting to make a drinking game of it, but I'd probably be dead. But I was just going to say, Chris Persia mentioned that The Prisoner's on YouTube. I know it's on Amazon and Tubi, I think, and I love The Prisoner. It's still one of those that I've watched the whole thing, but still wonder what the heck is the ending.
Not
I mean, I've
something
seen
I've
the,
gone into.
I've seen Fallout many times. It's just I still don't get it.
that was kind of thing to
Okay.
Well, you have to watch
I was going to say, hopefully it wasn't that.
It's one of those things. It's one of those classic Brit shows that I never actually got into. I have to admit.
Oh, there's another really good. If you like cop shows, like we do, like even in the 70s, our cop shows were very, very gritty. And we had one called The Professionals.
Oh yes.
Watch that. That is brilliant. I love The Professionals. You see, like as 5-year-olds running around the playground, we were like playing Bodie and Doyle. You know, like the two cops.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And the theme tune is great.
It's
as
not
well.
on BritBox.
Yeah.
But it is on Pluto.
The Sweeney.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
Oh wait, no, that's
Brilliant,
not.
Bravo.
So Lee, do you remember when we used to have we had Saturday night shows tended to be impressions shows, like Mike Yolden, like.
Yeah.
I remember. I can't remember who it was. I remember someone. I think it might have even been Mike Yolden doing a fantastic impression of. My brain's gone. The guy that played Cowley, Jackson.
Who?
The guy that played Cowley, Sir Jackson. My brain's switched off.
God.
I got the actor's name. But it's not because he was also in a certain other show as a butler. It's the impression starts off with him being the butler, and he's giving instructions to the cook, to Mr. Bridges, to the cook, to Rose, and literally mid-sentence, the impression clicks between going upstairs, downstairs, going right, Bodie, Doyle, you got it. Mid-sentence, he flips between upstairs, downstairs, and the profession. Fantastic with both the big shows at the time. Gordon Jackson, who was also in The Great Escape.
Yeah. Oh, great. No one knows what the hell we're talking about. We lost them on the Atlantic side.
No. I was just going to say the one that
anybody in the chat actually has any questions to ask the panel, because Super John's here and he hasn't had much to say because everybody.
Yeah, it's the same all the time.
I'm going to have to drop out shortly, Noel, anyway, so that'll take one motor mouth out of it.
Anybody got any questions for the panel, by the way? I've asked you a couple of times.
Doctor Who questions, Titanic questions, or
Blake 7 questions.
Oh, Blake 7. I loved the opening.
The title credits.
Yeah, it's quite good.
The music is great. I think Gary describes it as an earworm. I think he didn't like the theme, but I love it. It's proper Dudley theme tune music. Dudley Simpson. Yeah. He does the incidental music, of course, for classic Doctor Who. Yeah, it's so good. I can't sing its praises enough. I mean, it inspired so many science fiction shows across the pond. Like Babylon 5 was inspired by Blake 7, Firefly. Even I think the creators of Star Trek, Deep Space Nine borrowed a few Blake 7 ideas as well. So it kind of Blake 7 inspired by Star Trek and then sort of re-inspired Star Trek. So it's quite interesting. But yeah, it's great. Archetypal, and it got strong female leads as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it was very.
I believe she appeared in Emmerdale Farm. What's her name again? The blonde one.
Oh yeah, Sue Lin or
Sally Knivet was Jenna. Sue Lin was
Jenna. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah, she Jenna.
Sue Lin was Glynnis Barber, who's now married, who starred in a professional rip-off called Dempsey and Makepeace, and actually married her co-star.
That was Sue Lin. That was the girl who plays Sue Lin from Dempsey and Makepeace.
Said co-star eventually dying when the Daleks attacked in her husband was the guy that played the head of unit, and I've forgotten the guy's name.
The question on the screen there: what do you think of Steve Martin's ventures into tragedy? Example: Bilko and Pink.
No, no. That was the downward spiral of Steve Martin's career. Bilko was great. I love Bilko.
Career now.
Is he? Oh, yeah. I think I've heard something along the lines that he's doing.
Yeah, he's playing the banjo.
Yeah, I think him and Billy Connolly should team up and do a banjo duet. Because Billy Connolly loves his banjos as well. That would be interesting. But yeah, Pink Panther. No, Bilko. I love the original Bilko. I used to watch that as a kid. I used to watch. Oh God, what was it? Abbott and Costello. Used to love them.
Disaster Aries answered your question. She was married to Fraser
I
Hines.
dream of Genie.
Oh, so did I. I dreamed of Jeannie a great deal.
Yeah, that was good.
I also dreamed of Samantha Stevens a great deal as well, but then again, that's beside the point. But Disaster Aries answered your question. Apparently, the actress was married to Fraser Hines. So another connection to Doctor Who there.
Yeah. Murray and the family.
So depressing.
Yeah.
Well, guys, on that, I think I've got a couple of things I need to do, so I am going to drop out. Give Super John a chance to get a word in edgeways. Hey, I can
probably need to get ready myself.
Good to speak to you, Colin.
Yeah, you too, mate. You too, Father, and you, John, and you know.
See you later. Thanks for coming on.
That's okay, guys. I shall see you all later.
Bye.
I'm gonna probably head out too. It's the day off, so I'm trying to just catch up on a few things.
No problem, Father. Sure,
I actually get a day off. Sunday is not my day off.
Yeah, it's pretty busy on a Sunday.
So, but yeah, let me know. I think the thick of it, or no, not the thick of it. The House of Cards. Last time I watched it was on Netflix, the British version.
Oh yes.
So I'd be interested in hearing what you think of it.
I loved House of Cards. I think he's so much more sinister.
Yeah.
I think it works well with the sort of British machinations of political power.
Were you on when we talked about it in the beginning?
No.
Okay, I love the ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I love the ending of the series.
Kind of reminds me of the Peter Capaldi bit where he's in that episode where he throws the Clockwork Man out of the what is it, the out the window to his death. He just looks at you. Remember that the Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor?
Was that his last season?
No,
that's his first season.
Deep Breath.
Deep Breath, yeah, of course.
It's been a while.
Was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it.
That scene reminded me of House of Cards. It's just like, what's that and what's... Yeah, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, do us a favor before you leave, just let everybody know what you have coming up on your channel and let them know where they
I really don't have a whole lot planned yet. I started a channel when the COVID started, or beer bug, or whatever I'm supposed to call it. I decided to name it the Nerd Father because as I'm starting my videos, I'm a nerd. I'm a priest. Nerd Father.
Brilliant.
So it's just basically, it was a channel that I was going to start doing some nerd reviews, trying to make some videos, but also because I was a high school church history teacher for 9 years and I've been out of the classroom for 3 years now. I miss it. So I figured it was a way to put some content up too. So it's actually grown. I'm up to about 430 members. One of the things we've been doing, we haven't had as many members, but we've been doing a priest version of Friday Night Tights.
Wow.
which is actually
Friday Night
G-rated.
Frocks. There you go, Friday Night Frocks.
Well, yeah. So, but now the churches are opening. My brothers are starting to kind of return to their normal schedule, so it's hard to get priests to join us.
Oh.
But I'm still working on it.
You have to get Rabbi on.
You know, I want to do something, and I know I'm the only American here, so I'm going to be going to Vegas for the Star Trek convention for part of it. I'm going to try to meet up with Gary at Nerdrotics Get Together. So hopefully, maybe do something with him on that. That'd be great. Yeah, sad I wouldn't be able to make it there, but it sounds amazing. Well, I don't know if America will be open. Yeah, but that's also true. But watch Blade 7, man. I will. I got it marked down. I got it set in my YouTube queue. So. And pets. That's very naughty. Remind me, Rabbi's thing, is that Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday. Wednesday. It's normally Wednesday.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you guys then. I'll see you then.
See you then.
Okay. Later.
Take care, Father. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
What's the movie Wednesday?
It's Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah.
Which is amazing.
It was. Right, let me see. I see Chris has thrown up Father Miller's YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure he's probably thrown up the rest. Oh, and Daniel has done the same as well. So thank you, guys. We've got 20 minutes to go. So make sure you're still subscribed to Father Miller, because you know yourself, YouTube have a habit of getting rid of your subscriber. It's a monthly thing. It's a monthly purge that they do, but it seems to be going on a regular basis. I've just recently received a couple of more emails off YouTube to say that videos that I put up months ago are okay for advertisers. It's an absolute joke, right? This one's monetized, right? This is what happens. This one is monetized and it's fine now. Soon as it goes off, they demonetize the video. They limit it. Then I have to actually request a manual review. And because of the bear bug, that could take 3 or 4 weeks. So they're basically killing my channel. There you go.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, we did the chase a few 2 months ago. We did the chase, if you remember.
I remember that.
Yeah. I literally got the email 2 nights ago to say that it was suitable.
I remember you saying, it's outrageous. It's crazy. And then we went on Twitter and because YouTube. YouTube we're gonna do this and tell us your feedback, and it's all funky and groovy, and it was like, you're demonetizing people. It's just so obvious. It's just like, what are you doing about that? And we just kind of was quite sarcastic, I think, with them. But how many videos do you get demonetized? Oh, every single one, is it? Okay. How long does it take to sort that out? 2 months, right? Okay.
Yeah, and then it's still not hearing nothing back from them, though. By the way,
of course not.
I've even because they always ask for evidence and stuff like that. I've actually sent them the screenshots. They just don't give a shit. They just don't care. And it's ridiculous.
All powerful.
It's ridiculous. It is, because they're sending me a warning. Well, you've got too many videos that need to be checked out, but it's them doing it. You know what I mean? Even videos months back, I'm checking, and they limit them. What are they? Yeah.
They don't like, they maybe you got a few Jody friends working at Google.
Who cares anyway? Yeah. Yes, someone was going to dance on my grave last night. Apparently.
Yeah. Outrageous statement. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And by the way, just to let you all know, I haven't interacted with this person. As soon as this person started talking crap, I blocked them. And then I only recently found out, actually, the night that they last night when they said the vile stuff, they eventually blocked me then after.
I got blocked as well after. This is what they do. they leave what they think is a zinger, right? A line of tweets so they can have the last word, and then they block you, so you can't have a right to reply. They do that they're so predictable. You can set your clock by them because they're just so predictable, and it's just like, oh god, it's pathetic. And you by the time you type it out,
rehash all the old stuff.
It's like
the very first bit of crap that we were getting on this channel. And I was like, they were rehashing the same lies. So, I haven't reacted, and I'm not. But I tell you something, to say that you're going to dance on someone's grave is like...
That's a sociopath.
Imagine believing lies so much that you go and attack a person that you don't even know that you're going to dance on their grave. And she's vile, by the way.
Very vile individual, disgusting person. But we called them out. I called them out, and
I know that Lee Lee calls them out, but I will put the screenshots up, but I won't say anything because it is important that my followers and people that are subscribed to me and people that don't even know me, right? Because there's people talking about me on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. They don't know the full story, the full facts. So what I do is I just put the screenshots up. I don't say anything or anything. I just put them up, right? Lee is the one that will go and say whatever.
But it alerts me to what's going on.
Anyway, Lee's name is always mentioned anyway. Lee or Bolstrek. Bolstrek hasn't even been on Twitter the last few weeks, but yet he's getting dragged into conversations that have nothing to do with him. This is what they do, and I'm sick and tired of it.
Well, I did have a conversation with the person who was reposting a lot of things, and we came to a cordial entente, and I said, what was going on, the level of abuse you were getting, how it was affecting you, it was affecting your wife, and I don't think people realize what they're doing because they think, oh, we're just innocently reposting this in good humor and whatever. But it doesn't, because what it does is because people are fucking insane on Twitter. People who follow you, if you got like something like 600 followers, and can you guarantee that out of those 600 followers you may have, that not one or two of those might be completely off the hook crazy people who will go and do something like this?
My followers, I can't say that. You know what I mean? I can't make that statement either. I don't know any of
no, but I don't. We will call out.
Everybody is supposed to go and...
but the thing is, we call them out. We call out anyone, and we've proven this time and time again that if anyone steps out of line and does anything stupid, we'll condemn it.
Account, right? And first thing they said to me, said, "How are you? I'm a fan of yours. Hate to see what happened to you. Tell me, can you give us a list of all JBot accounts so I can go and harass them?" Right? And I basically was, get out of town, get out of here. Then they start calling me a JBot and a hypocrite because I wouldn't actually help them. Listen, I do not condone that sort of behavior, and I never have. Okay? And people out there, including that person last night, rehashing fake news. That's what it is. Fake allegations, fake lies. We have proven beyond doubt anyway.
Twitter's repeatedly removed the person making those accusations time and time again.
Removing all these accounts as well, by the way. So, and we've proven it because we've put the screenshots up. The end of the day, I do not set up sock accounts, as they're called, right? Sock puppet accounts, they're called, right? I don't. It's not my style, right? If I've
I got accused of that yesterday.
I call you out publicly. I call you out on here. I call you out on Twitter, or I'll call you out on whatever social media platform. I do not resort to underhanded tactics.
And also the not my doctor thing. I've made this clear again. They're not my doctor. And the thing is, I think you were the first person actually to turn against the Not My Doctor group and this is something that isn't said often enough or at all. But this is the truth.
Well, you should
when the Not My Doctor people turned out, when the Not My Doctor people turned out to be the bigots and crazy people that it turned out that they were, and they're right, they are. But you were the first. You were the first to decry it. You were the first to say no, and you lost friends over it, didn't you? You fell out with these people because of what they were saying.
Well,
so there you go.
Well, I have to clarify, no, because there was a comment made by someone that we used to actually negotiate with. I'm going to send it to you on DM now. Actually, I want you to look at it, but don't mention the person. But you can read it out if you want to, right? Because it actually contradicts what you just said there. But I was the first one, you're right, because there was underhanded tactics from certain people on our side, and that's why we stopped using the Not My Doctor hashtag and then the Not My Doctor Who hashtag, because unfortunately a couple of unsavory people attached themselves to that. I'm going to make it clear again. Lee has made it clear on Twitter. We've made it clear for the past 3 weeks, but I'm going to say it again. There is in no way do I condone any behavior from this so-called side of the fandom. If you are going and setting up accounts, I'm just saying it though, because it goes for both sides here, right? So if I'm going to call out their side, I'm going to call out our side. If there's anybody on our so-called side that is engaging in setting up all of these sock accounts and going after these fans, I think it's despicable and I think you should stop. It is wrong, okay? This is what keeps this whole thing going in the fandom, and the other side are doing it as well. It's about time that this nastiness stops, right? Because I can tell you now, yes, I'm a strong-minded person, right? But my mental health has suffered during the whole lot of this, right? I am not the person that all of these people are claiming to be, and it is quite hurtful, to be quite honest with you, right? Now, I do have people that say, well, why don't you ignore it? I do ignore it, but the problem is that Lee will tell you for every account that we report that's a fake account, another 2 or 3 will pop up in its place. And it's a constant 24-hour harassment. That's what it is.
It's whack-a-mole.
There's people daily trying to follow me, and I'm not protecting my account again. Why should I? Why should I have to protect my account from these people because they don't like the opinions that I have? At the end of the day, I'm entitled to them. They're entitled to their opinions. The difference is I don't go after them or set up fake accounts to go after them and to threaten them and to send pictures of beheading and to send me scat porn and then to go on to me comments on YouTube and to send me all porn sites and to send me people's heads being decapitated, right? To have me face then superimposed onto disgusting photos of my wife's face and then to be threatened and then to get a phone call live on air. That's all what's happened to me in the past few months. And I keep getting people saying, well, why don't you just ignore it? Well, it's very hard to ignore it. And trust me, the fact is that some of you have backed away. But unfortunately, I got myself in so far with this. And I told you I wasn't going to stop until Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker were gone. And some of you decided to bail. And that's fine, fair enough. But you haven't been getting it the way I've been getting it. So Lee will tell you, we have, every time a new account pops up, we block it, right? But another 2 or 3 pop up, right? And we've tried, why do you think I'm on Parler? I'm trying to get away from all the bloody nonsense. So anybody on both sides engaging in false rumour, setting up accounts and harassing people, I disavow every single one of you, and I do not condone it. And do not for 1 second think that any of you out there can defend me. I'll defend myself, right? I've got me close friends as well, like Lee, like Ballstreck, that have me back. I don't need the rest of you to help me out, yeah? I don't need you to do that because you aren't helping the situation, right? So what I'm trying to say is that if you see someone talking about me, that's fine, fair enough. I'd rather you didn't engage. What you do is you just block that person, right? It's as simple as that. The more oxygen you give them, the more energy they get to come after you. I don't want these people coming after me, right? I want to be able to do what we do on this channel, right? Which is all our stuff that we're doing, right? Without anybody harassing me or anybody that I'm friends with. It's about time that all this nonsense stopped, right? And it has to stop. And yes, while Lee has been talking to a few of these people that have engaged in this, I'm still a bit skeptical that these people will actually stop. But I'll give Lee and these people the benefit of the doubt. But I'm being honest with you. Why would I think they'd change after 3 years of getting this crap? Why would they suddenly change? But we'll see, because Lee has, and I have to be honest with him, he's done a lot more than anybody else out there to try and make some peace within this fandom. I've tried and I've given up at this stage, and I've said to Lee, if you want to do it, go ahead, knock yourself out, and if it does get anywhere, I will fully support that. And right, if there's a cause that he needs me to, I'll support it, because I want nothing but everybody to get on in this fandom, right? At the end of the day, we've all been connected by one thing and one thing only, and that's Doctor Who. Whether you're a fan of Jodie Whittaker's era or whether you're a fan of classic Who or new Who, you came together because of a show called Doctor Who.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah. And you've seen that DM that I sent you. So this clown now is starting up again because he's not obviously happy, because he thinks I'm in the position that I'm weak because of all the stuff that's gotten. I just want to give a call out to you, Mighty Lion. I'm not in any position of weakness, yeah? And the fact that you're going around spreading lies about me, you obviously have an obsession with me as well. And your tactics on Twitter are quite appalling still. So I told you once before, dickhead, don't come after me, because I totally destroyed you the last time. So listen, as I said, you pipe down, yeah? You go and do your little campaign, right? You go and do whatever you want to do in this fandom, yeah? As far as I'm concerned, I won't be supporting anything that you do, because I think you're a horrible, vile individual, right? So that's enough of you as well. Out your mouth. Sick of you as well. You're as bad as the other side you are. Imagine setting up a whole portfolio to try to discredit me, but makes the person look like a complete lunatic, because they took so much time to put all this together, and not just about me, but about Eddie Ascaro as well.
Well, you're gonna have to give me you're gonna need to fill me in on everything so that I know exactly what I'm dealing with here, because I'm gonna be entering into all of this, and I need to know everything. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this can't go on anymore.
What you need to do is you just need to ignore the dickhead.
Well, look, we need to stop all of this stupid fucking backbiting.
Because he wants me to back his stupid bloody campaign, because I wouldn't back his campaign to have his petition signed, because he was going to the because he was going to the actors Manique Gill, Sacha Dhawan, Joe Martin, and he was posting these fucking change.org bloody petition, right? And then he had this whole bleeding thing then where it led to links about diversity hiring and all of this crap, right?
You don't go after the actors and the people involved directly. This is nothing to do with them. They're hired bodies. That's it.
That's why he's done all this stuff about me.
Oh, that's so disrespectful. No, I mean, look, okay, we can sit here and bitch all day about that acting and call them planks and whatnot, but they don't sit around YouTube and Twitter watching what we're saying. They don't. They're completely aloof. They're not aware. They're not going to be made aware. No one cares. We vent our spleen like most people do when they're frustrated. That's it. But to actually go after them to their actual accounts and
I'll tell you how there's 12 dislikes. They're the 12 dislikes from the people that are listening to me and actually hate me guts right now because I'm talking about them. And you see, the problem is they know I'm telling the truth, you see, and they don't like hearing the truth about themselves. These people are all vile who engage in this kind of behavior. Some people will bring up the point, Jordan Series 11, I was very radical. Yes, I was. I will not dispute that. Everybody knows I was. That's how I got most of my subscribers anyway. Was because I didn't hold back. I was raw, and I was, everybody knew I was a very passionate person. But Jordan Series 12, I toned it down. Of course, I toned it down a little bit because it was getting to me. The whole thing was getting to me. It wasn't mentally good for me. So I did tone it down. And these people are still not happy because as long as I keep talking this current era, they're going to hate my guts. And unfortunately, whether they like it or not, I mightn't want to talk about it, but if people come on this channel and I want to talk about the current era, I can't stop them. You know, it's a democracy. You know, and then if I get asked a direct question, which I was in the last few videos, I'm going to answer them. If someone asks me my opinions about Series 11 and 12, I'm going to give them. I shouldn't see why. This is the thing. I don't see why I should stop criticizing. So should you all stop praising the show? Should we demand that you all stop praising the show because we've had enough of
It's
you?
like this kind of weird reality that people seem to think that they want to live in, where everything's just positive and everything's great and wonderful and fluffy.
Yeah.
The real world doesn't work like that. There's polarity in everything. It's a negative thing, is a negative emotion, negative response to something that you love, that's been done to something you love. You are naturally going to react badly to it. This is like, negative is a human emotion. Like, these negative feelings, hatred even, are pure, not the pure human emotion. Okay, if you don't have hate for something in your life, there's something wrong with you. Okay, you have to have a little bit of hate, because hate is a natural response to something bad happening to you. If you hate something, it's not because you hate people or you hate such and such. It's because you hate what's been done to something. You hate what people do, not the people themselves. That has to be absolutely clear. It's like, you know, I mean, the scene where, you know, she's walking around that console and Graham's giving his thing about worrying about his cancer, and her response, I hated that. And you can't tell me that, oh, that should be negative. You're negative. Yeah, damn right I'm fucking negative. You know, that is not what the Doctor would do. That is not Doctor Who. No. That is the antithesis of everything I love about this show. So, yeah, you know, it's a normal human emotion. And you can't live in this fake reality where everything's fluffy. It's so positive. Oh my God, she's so gorgeous. Oh my God, everything's so nice. Little fluffy unicorns. You know, it's like it's not real. That is not a way to live. You get over that. Okay, that's you're not doing yourself any favors.
Very typical New Age mentality.
Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of New Age parents out there who've dropped these kids and told them, everything's wonderful.
Planks, that's what they are. They're planks. They raised their kids wrong, and now their kids are running rampant around the world. And look at them.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that they keep saying, you're always being so positive, you're always being so negative, you're so negative. It's like, you're being negative against me for having an opinion that you don't like. That's you being negative.
Daniel left a nice little comment up there. See, this is the thing that people don't actually talk about me about, right? And it's not that I wear it as a badge of honor. I've always encouraged YouTube channels, because when I first came onto YouTube, and especially when I started doing my Series 11 and 12 reviews, I had a lot of support from fellow YouTubers that were bigger than me. So, you know, I'm in a position now where I can, you know, plug channel. Well, I've always plugged channels though. That has always been my thing on this, and I've always encouraged people that I think would be great for this fandom to actually set up their YouTube channel. And Daniel is one of those people. And you know what? He's killing it on his channel. He's doing very well. Daniel has been here from the very big 59 subs. I think it's been. Daniel's been here since, and you know, that's dedication to you. He's always been here for me, and when I've been down, you know, he's always been the one that has sent me a little message, and he always worries that he's you know, that he lets me down, and I'm like, no, don't worry. You don't have to worry about things like that. You know, he texted me last night because he thought he insulted me, and I was like, when what? I was like, what? So no, listen, Daniel, Lee even knows when I take the piss out of him about him talking all the time. He knows.
That's on. Right. No, like, wait, hold, what?
Yeah, well, half serious with Lee, but definitely joking. I'm an early subscriber too, Noel. I know you are garbage, and I think if I'm correct in saying, if I remember correctly, I think you were my first super chat. think you were my first super chat, if I remember correctly. I'll have to go back to that stream and see. But yeah, no idea. But you were under 100 subs. Yeah, I was. Yeah. A lot of you have stuck by.
Yeah.
And have stayed with me from the beginning. So
I stayed as well. From the very first time you started to speak out about Series 11.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Some of you have hung on.
What they don't seem to understand is, look, the numbers explain it. Okay, there are currently just under 5 million people left at the Timeless Child thing, right? That means nearly 7 million people are not watching it from when she first appeared. Okay, now even if you took that number of viewers away from the first episode, it's still over 50% of the audience. Okay, so where do you expect us to go? Just jump on board? Just fucking ignore our principles or our integrity and just go, well, we gave it a good shot. We didn't like it, but hey, let's just watch it and just consume and just accept it. No. Why should we? Would you? If you were force-fed something you didn't like from the show that you love, and just accept its ruination and just go, oh yeah, you know what? That's fine. It's perfectly.
And then you tell us
we got a natural response. We have to vent our spleen. If something you didn't like happened to you in your life, you want to vent about it. We have the right to vent. We have the right to speak, and we have the right to not like something. Okay, we've invested in this show all our lives. And there are plenty of people who've been around as long as us who love this current era as well. Good on them. But hey, over 50% of the audience needs to vent and needs to go somewhere and to speak their mind. And YouTube is a perfect place for it. If you don't like that, don't listen. Sorry, but
here's the criticism that they get. They tell us not to watch the show, right? But
the show that we supported for 40 years.
And then you say we're not fans, but even though we hate this era, and I do it with a passion because of what's being done to the show, I've watched Series 11.
I've watched some of it.
I've watched all of Series 12. I've watched every single episode of Jodie Whittaker's era. And after those 2 seasons, I can tell you now, she is still not the Doctor in my eyes. She has not justified that tag. And it's not just down to her, it's down to the writing. The writing has not convinced me. And to be honest, if you actually look at her writing, and Rabbi has said this plenty of times, and he's spot on. She is written incompetent. And, everybody, Jordan Series 11, the biggest trope is that everybody would figure everything out for her, and then she'd come in the last minute, and then she'd take credit for everything. That was her thing. And slating men. Right, that was our big thing in Series 11. Right, in Series 12, she did tone it down. I have to be honest, she did. But was it good enough? No, Spyfall Part 1 was decent enough. I said that during the review. People will agree or disagree with me on that. That's fine. But I did think it was an improvement on anything we got during Series 11. But then we got Spyfall Part 2, and then we have that horrible scene where she actually takes the Master's deception filter off, and now all of a sudden the Master, who happens to be Asian, by the way, leaves him in France, in Nazi-occupied France, to be basically killed. So,
because of his skin color.
Yes, because of his skin color. Exactly, Lee. And this is the type of, do you know what I mean? What was Chris Chibnall thinking there, or whoever wrote that? What were they actually thinking there? And then to have the Doctor to actually do something like that.
Oh, he's a man. It doesn't matter.
No matter how much the Doctor hates the Master, or the Master hates the Doctor. And yes, the Master has tried to kill the Doctor. But let's be honest, if the Master really wanted to kill the Doctor, the Master would really kill the Doctor. Right, this has been a game between.
Well, he managed to kill an entire planet of Time Lords somehow without any explanation. So after all that time, he could have killed the Doctor like that. Then come on, off screen as well. Somehow, just wiped out the entire fucking species of the Time Lords.
Yeah.
Somehow, no explanation, no reason.
Again,
Nothing.
Gallifrey destroyed again.
I mean, I'm sorry. That is objectively bad writing. I'm sorry if you can't see it, but you're clearly fucking deluding yourself.
Why did I don't know why Chris Chibnall thought this was a great to destroy Gallifrey again. And all the effort that Moffat, and you know what, Moffat has always got criticism the way he went about it. But he did it. He still did it. He still did it. He still got it across. Yes, we have our problems with it, but he brought Gallifrey back in such a nice way. And then for Christian to come in and say, right, sorry, folks, Gallifrey's gone again. And by the way, I just bastardized the Cybermen and the Time Lords. Yeah.
And destroyed and underwritten the character of the Doctor in a terrible way. In a lazy montage with a lazy load of fucking monologue, which is just exposition, not a single line from the beautiful brown girl that appears through, and surely, like, here's a thought for you. What is the first thing a woman would do if they found a lost child? They would try and get them home or find their parents.
Yeah.
She didn't even do that. She just, you're mine now. I'm going to do loads of heinous experiments on you. Yeah, really.
Well, no, what didn't make more sense was after she actually kidnapped the child, she brought the child back and she loved that child for a few years before the child actually had an accident. And then when the child had the accident and she seen the child die in front of her, and then the child then regenerate, then she turns into this murderous experimenting psychopath and then starts like doing what she does. And you know what?
And that was the calmest fall off a cliff I've ever seen.
Right fucking there. The portal was right there. The child was right in front of the portal, and she never thought once, well, maybe I should scan it, or maybe I should walk through the portal and see what the story is.
I mean, it's a whopping great fucking portal there. No, I mean, if you're a great, amazing super scientist,
it's like finding a lost puppy or something, or a lost.
But if you're this amazing scientist that can create the entire fucking Gallifreyan civilization from scratch by herself somehow, not explained, surely she could work out how a fucking portal that appears there, that's been standing there, the massive size of a tower block, work out how it works.
Well, apparently she wasn't that smart of a scientist. That's the bottom line.
It's just bollocks. I mean, like, out and out bollocks. When the word got out how bollocks this was, I think half the people didn't watch it because they knew it's just going to be bollocks, let alone what was done to the character of the Doctor. I think they just heard what the fuck happened. Is like, I am not putting myself through that. There is no. I'll be very interested because, I mean, we ended on the lowest rating of any New Who episode, was the worst rating since like 1986 or something.
Yeah.
Like
80s, yeah.
How many of those people are going to come back?
Well,
I mean, bearing in mind it fell down to just under 5 million, like 4.69 or something like that. I mean, how many of those people are going to come back and watch the next story?
I don't think they will, because I'll tell you why. The next one is obviously Revolution or Revolution of the Dalek or Revolution of the Dalek.
She can't even get that right.
She either doesn't know the name or she basically let out a little bit of a spoiler that see, this is what I reckon anyway. I think it is one rogue Dalek, and I think
we've seen there's lots of Daleks and from the
it's gonna be like as we said, what was it? We watched Remembrance, isn't it? Remembrance, is that what we watched a few weeks back?
No, Remembrance of Daleks.
So he seems to be ripping that off. What he does, he rips off ideas. But listen, the only thing that I've liked about Chris Chibnall's here when it came to the Daleks, right, and this is controversial, even though I hate the design, yes.
The anorexic Dalek.
Nick Briggs as the Dalek, I don't know what it is, but they sound more sinister. They sound like proper sinister Daleks, and from that point of view, that's the thing that I like the most. So this special with Nick Briggs voicing the Daleks, you know the Daleks are going to be, obviously if the dialogue is actually decent, but he'll be on point anyway. But yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think fans are going to come. Daleks are not going to win fans back. I'm sorry, unless he's put something in amazing, unless he leaks something. Listen, that'll probably happen because they'll have to try garden some hype. Because let's be honest, who's actually really talking about Doctor Who? Nobody really, except the channels like ours and maybe a few on Twitter. But
I mean, he can't even get 10 episodes out a year, without struggling. I mean, it's just pathetic. I mean, like, RTD managed to have 3 shows on the boil at the same time.
Yeah.
And CW was pulled out in Series 12.
Thank God.
I wonder
because
what
if they'd have been used, I love to see that. But I mean, come on, let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had a hand in what the Silurians look like, no. I'm just so glad that they weren't bastardized. I hope we never see them in this Chibnall era. I really don't, because I don't want to see another great classic destroyed. No.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I was quite annoyed.
I don't think people are going to come back for this special.
I'm not watching it. I've made it absolutely clear. I'm not doing it. I'm not adding to that viewership. No chance.
You don't necessarily have to add to the viewership, though, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
I don't know if I can even but even pirating it, I wouldn't want to do it, because it's just like, why would I want to sit through that and watch another destruction of my beloved show?
Well,
I'm doing it to myself.
That brings me quite nicely onto me YouTube poll. So I have actually asked that question. I have actually asked people, would they like me to review the special? Some of the comments are funny. Some people are begging me not to put myself through.
I voted no.
So the vote as it is, it's actually gotten quite close now. So should I review the festive special? 60% say yes, but 40% say no. There's 73 votes. So if you haven't voted, it's on the community post.
Vote no.
Community
don't put Noel through this.
And Lee is not allowed to actually influence the vote. Seriously, just whatever comes to your mind. If it's a yes or a no, please just give your honest vote.
I much prefer the idea where we watch an alternative Christmas special.
Well, we will
I've just thought of something. What if Chris Chibnall is going to retcon the Daleks' history as well? This is going to be the second retcon after the Timeless Child.
Don't.
Oh, don't.
Oh, I just thought about that.
Oh God, that's probably something he would
Revolution of the Dalek.
Hey, Genesis of the Daleks wasn't good enough. I'm better than that. I'm going to rewrite the Genesis of the Daleks because I'm Chris Chibnall. Yes, I am. I'm great. It's just like, that's the egomania that he probably put on display. He probably would do that. I wouldn't put it past him at this stage. I put nothing past that.
No,
he's trying to do it for controversy.
Yeah. I think that's his entire. I think he gets off on that.
He does.
I think it's a fetish at this point.
Right, listen, we're gonna finish up now in a second. So, is there anything else you would like to briefly add before we head off? Is the YouTube community not available on the app? I thought it's on my phone, and it's on when you go into YouTube, where it says home, and then it'll say videos, playlist, community, channels, and about. So if you go into the community section, unfortunately, you can't share community posts on Twitter or Facebook, because I would to just get a better outcome. But anybody can vote on YouTube, though. That's the thing. So you can leave a vote. I don't even think you have to sign in. So it'll be get your votes in. As I said, it's 60-40 at the moment. Actually, no, because we've had a couple of more votes, another 3 votes. So it's 58% have said yes, and 42% have said no. I'm blaming
Good.
I'm blaming
Keep
Lee
going.
on that because Lee is trying to influence us. I want it to be a fair vote. I don't want anybody, me or anybody else, to influence.
Hey, you have to have campaigns.
If you don't want me to do it, I won't do it. But please just give a fair vote.
I think we should just stick together on this and just say fuck it. You just go nope. We reject it. We're not putting ourselves through any more of this nonsense. We're not going to
you don't have
support
to
it.
put yourself through. I'm not asking you to put yourself through it. So you're okay there, pal. Right? I'm putting myself. I'm asked, so don't.
You're crazy.
I might be, but that's what people listen. Here's the way I'm looking at it is right. If we don't review it, someone else is going to review it. Yeah.
Oh,
And people are going to listen to the reviews anyway. Even if they don't watch, they'll want to hear the reviews. So should I actually not give my same subscriber?
it might be the biggest video of all time. And I don't want to deny you that, but I just have such an allergic reaction to the idea.
Listen, everybody is voting no, so they seem to be going your way. So you never know.
So is this going to be on Christmas Day?
Listen, if it's Christmas Day, I'm not going to do it because I did promise everybody that we do the other specials, and that will go ahead.
Okay, that's what we'll do then.
It's not going to be on Christmas Day. It's going to be on the New Year, so like we can relax. It's not happening Christmas Day because they keep saying festive special and they keep saying early 2021. So it's going to be in 2021. It's going to be New Year's Day. That's exactly when. He's not going to listen. He's going to stick to the same. He has New Year's Day. That's his time slot. Doctor Who festive special is going to be on New Year's Day, unless they take the risk for Christmas Day. But I can't see that happening because, to be honest with you, it'll be slaughtered. It will.
It's going to be a huge disaster.
Because think about it, if Indiana Jones or something is on, or E.T. is on at the same time that they drop Doctor Who on BBC One, people will go and watch that instead. They'll watch something that'll put a smile on their face, not something that's going to preach to them and make them feel bad about themselves. And to watch John be destroyed, because God knows what he's going to do in this special, John. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. And Jack is supposed to just even talk a river song. I mean, we don't know. He might bring them all back. It might be like, oh yeah, did you know what someone mentioned Susan? Because Susan is the whole thing that Chris Chibnall hasn't actually thought about when he's done this whole record. Where does Susan fit in? Would anybody like to actually take that one before we leave? Susan, where does she fit in the children retcon business?
All right.
Someone's phone's ringing.
Not me. Go on, Super John.
I think he's on the phone.
Well, I think, I mean, granddaughter, I mean, did the doctor give birth to, I mean, not her, but like to her parents?
I know what you're saying, because listen, that might sound funny.
Does the doctor get pregnant?
But that's the thing, you're right. Because I mean, if this is not the first time that she's been a woman, which has been proven by Joe Martin's doctor, well then, has the doctor been pregnant in the past and is... Oh, there could be that as well, yeah, because apparently he had a nose, wasn't in the Christopher Eccleston regeneration, but I think that was, and then RTD brought it up then during the as a piss take to...
But then missing, Master said, something about her becoming a woman. She said, oh, am I a woman now? Even though...
So I don't know, but that is a good question, though.
When Matt regenerated, he says, "I'm a girl," and he held his.
Yeah, but this
I'm not a girl.
Yeah, but that was always a running joke. That wasn't they were gonna do a female doctor.
But it was Matt Smith's era when they started really ramping up this sort of
politics.
messaging.
All I know Chibnall will do, he'll have it that the doctor kidnapped Susan the same way Tom kidnapped her. Oh, no. What? Oh my God, yeah.
What am I missing?
They'll say Susan is the doctor's child. or something like that.
So maybe the doctor kidnapped Susan the way Tectum kidnapped the timeless child.
Could be possible because I read in a novel.
It's another good point to bring up, but this is what this Chris Chibnall thing does. It opens up all of these possibilities like this that weren't there before and shouldn't be even there. You know, this is this great. Listen, man, that whole storyline with Tectoyum, whatever you call her, is disgraceful.
Yeah.
You forget about the fact that she even killed, but she kidnapped the child. That panel was fantastic. Seriously. And I'm surprised that a certain YouTuber hasn't actually done a video on them and criticised them as sexist and bigots because he went after talk radio. So he's a bit of a hypocrite. Why haven't you gone after them? Because he can't, because it was a Doctor Who panel and they're basically saying what every other fan out there is thinking right now.
And isn't it interesting? Apart from one, they were all women.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, and that's what made it even better. And you know what? To those ladies on that panel, fair play to you. You know, you said everything that every single fan has been thinking since the time this child or children dropped. It's an absolute disgrace. Kidnapping a child, there's a portal right there. I mean, come on. Even me, it doesn't make sense. Even you can't be that evil.
It's such a desperate attention grabbing thing. All it is that look at how fucking liberal and wonderful I am, and look at me white knighting all these wonderful people of color, and and women and girls, and yeah, look at me, I'm just the king of all the oppressed people. It's so fucking on the nose. It's so patronizing, God, and it doesn't even give Tecteun or this timeless child montage, doesn't give them a single line.
No.
And he writes it as, oh, this little beautiful brown girl. And it's like, why does it matter?
It's in the script, right? Because I showed you, I did a video on it. So
it's only done, everyone, just look. Okay. It was done cynically. It was done to virtue signal. That's all this was done. We've got to get rid of all that stale pale male doctors from the history. Expunge them, make them less important. Have as many people like United Colors of Benetton in there as possible, and then boom, there you go. Isn't the Doctor now all of a sudden diverse? Because we can't have all that horrible whiteness or that maleness. It's just like, look, that is the character we've grown up with, that generations have grown up with. It's always been the same. Yes, he's been a different actor each time and played slightly differently and all the rest, wears different outfits. But the core of it is he's this white, older guy kind of thing. What is wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with that. You can have as a diverse cast as possible around them, but the character's like making Sherlock Holmes Chinese, or something. Yeah, it's not the character.
Yeah, but you know what the most, as I was saying, that the most infuriating thing about this whole
take something away from the evil white guys.
Yeah, it's his description, his actual Chris Chibnall's description of Tectoyum's character. So he calls her strong, warm. Right?
She doesn't even say a line. How can you describe how warm and brilliant and wonderful she is?
Yeah, but a warm person is not going
to write a line for her.
He did, which is like experiment on a child multiple times, and basically, that child did regenerate. So
let me ask Cheryl a question.
Let me ask saying that she killed the child is probably a bit strong of a word, but she did actually end that child's life for it to regenerate. The doctor died, when the doctor's cells in their body are dying, which the child was doing. She injected the child was dying, the child was forced to regenerate. So technically she did murder the child multiple
times. Yeah. Let me ask Cheryl a question. Is Cheryl there?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? As a woman, okay. Imagine you're in a supermarket and the automatic doors are opening and in walks this child by itself, like a 4-year-old child.
Yeah.
And you're the only person who's seen it.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I go stand by the child and see if his mom is standing like right outside the automatic doors, and he wandered in. And then I wander over to security or something because he's clearly a missing child.
Yeah.
Exactly. Seek help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
Right there. Right there.
So you, what you do is you see a child, you're going to take the child home with you. Yeah. You're going to look for the
First
birds.
of all, that's kidnapping.
Exactly. That's what she
Yeah,
did.
that's kidnapping.
That's what she did. That's what
You
she
would
did.
find the mother. You would find where it's come from. You would
Exactly.
ask around. You
Yes.
know, you'd investigate. You'd look through the door, wouldn't you,
Yes.
to see? And
First thing is you wait by the child for a second, or you're looking because you think clearly this little one has wandered off and the mom's right there. But if you don't see the mom immediately, you know something's wrong because the little kids aren't just wandering around by themselves.
And Chris brings up another great point as well, which I've brought up several times on this channel, and so has Gary actually. But every time that she killed this child, she never knew that the child would regenerate or remain dead. So each death is 100% murder in Chris's eyes. And with that, guys, we could go on all night. I have to bring Ted down because Cheryl wants to actually go shops. So
Good
I have
plan.
to bring. I'm on dog duty early, so I have to bring the dog down. So what I'll do is I'll get you to shout out our channels before we go, and I'll leave it at that. I just want to say thank you for the super chats. Thank you everybody in the chat that has taken part tonight. Listen, we'll be doing this every Monday. So I'm going to give you a head up this week so we can keep to the way I want it, because I want this to be kind of a new format, right? So get you our questions, right? If you have any questions, you just have a whole week to get you our questions down. Something might happen during the week and you might want to ask the panel a question about it, yeah? So you guys in the chat, don't forget, get you our questions ready for next week. And you guys in the panel as well, if there's any topics of conversations that you want to bring up on the panel every Monday, when I bring you on, whoever is on the panel will vary now. It won't be a set panel. I'll be bringing on different guests all the time, but whoever's on, just to let you all know, is that if you also want to bring up something as well, that would be fantastic. That's how I want to do it. It's just we could talk about almost anything except for politics and religion, because you know what they say. They're the two things that you don't speak about when you're in a bar. So let's treat this YouTube channel like a bar. So we don't talk about politics or religion on the channel. I want to keep away from the politics and the stuff that's going on in the outside world. If we do that, I think we'll be pretty fine. And listen, as I said, I'll have plenty of new YouTubers coming on to the channel as well, and some that have already been on and that haven't been on in a while as well. So we're working on that. And I do know that I'm going to be unbounding into the comics channel this week. So don't forget, I'll let you all know when that happens anyway. So don't forget to tune in for that. And we got all their normal streams as well. So I'm going to give Super John the mic, and he will let you know what's going on these channels. So I'm going to remove me and Lee just for a second to give him the full screen.
I might be doing a couple of audios in my channel, a couple of Doctor Who audios I'm currently making at the moment. And I'll be on Noel's channel on Saturday with Doctor Who and the Daleks. And I think that's about it, basically.
Hello, it's me. Yes. Well, I'm going to be dilly-dallying around, whoring myself out to whoever wants me. Then, and Friday I'll be on the Video Vault with Noel and Dan from the Space Book and Type 40, Mega Geek and Rabbi and Father Christopher as well, which will be there. We'll be discussing the Pan's Labyrinth movie, which we'll be reviewing, sort of giving a retrospective review on. And I'll be back as well on this channel probably maybe at some point in the week. I don't know what Noel's got planned, but definitely on Saturday for the classic watch along, where I think we're going to be watching one of the Doctor Who movies with Peter Cushing, and that's about it, really. So you can find me on Twitter at Being Problem, and yeah, that's where you'll find my latest nonsense.
And of course, there's me. I'm on Parler as well, by the way. I forgot to add. So you can find me on the usual social media, Parler, Facebook, Twitter, as everybody's starting to call it now. And yeah, as Lee has also mentioned, we will be doing those watch-alongs. And there's plenty more stuff to come on this channel. So I'll bring the lads back in very briefly. Just one final good night before we go. But thank you everybody in the chat that took part. But so now that you know the format of this, don't forget, as I said, get your questions in. We will kind of have a different panel every week. Of course, we will have some that we do have on all the time because that's just the way I like to have a one or two regular with me. Just makes me feel a bit more at ease when I have new guests on. So, you know, because it helps me, but it helps them also. So it's not that awkward because they have other people I've been on before. It kind of makes it easier for new people to come on because it's better interaction that way. Because I could be an awkward little fecker sometimes, you know.
Oh shit!
So that's it. So yeah, I'm done. Listen, don't forget to subscribe to Daniel's channel as well. Wolfenstorm is in there as well. Dan from the Space Book as well. Rabbi from another planet. Who else am I forgetting? The lads on the panel here. Obviously me. If you still haven't subscribed to me, why haven't you? But please do. I'm just seeing if there's anybody else in the chat that I know that has a YouTube channel. Unknown289 has a YouTube channel, I think, still, if you want to subscribe there. And if anybody else actually has a YouTube channel, just before we go there, your opportunity to throw your link up real quick there, or if you want to let Chris know or Daniel know which channel you are, and they will throw your channel up for you. So lads, listen, absolutely fantastic having you on. Don't forget though to get your, you know, if there's any articles or anything for the panel, really, if anybody comes on that's been on this week, basically, you know, if there's any articles that you see out there that you just want to bring attention to everybody else in the chat. You know, for example, just there's a movie about abortion coming out soon by HBO Max. It's a road trip movie, and it doesn't appear that there's the synopsis of this movie that the girl was in any way forced to have sex. Doesn't sound like by the movie that there's something wrong with this baby, because apparently the father's parents don't know, and the father apparently I don't think knows that this girl is going on this road trip to have an abortion. So apparently abortion is a laugh now. I don't care where you stand on it, to be quite honest with you. The bottom line for me is this: unless medical condition, as I've actually said, or if a woman was raped or incest or anything like that, yes, if a woman wants to have an abortion, she should not be hampered in any way. But by the sound of the synopsis of this movie, if you're a young girl and you go out on a night out and you got drunk and you had a one night stand or whatever, or you have a boyfriend, you get pregnant, but a baby is an inconvenience to you, and you think abortion is the right method to go about it, I disagree fundamentally. There are plenty of options out there that are 100% now, and that wasn't the case back in the day. It's certainly the case now, though. So if you're just getting an abortion because a baby is inconvenience, or because you had a one night stand, you're too lazy to practice safe sex, well then I think you're a selfish individual, and I'd go as far as to say you're a murderer. And that's where I stand on it. So HBO Max, that's another reason why you Doctor Who fans shouldn't get your hands on HBO Max, because they obviously are showing Doctor Who, and now they are releasing a movie about abortion, and apparently it's supposed to be a right owl laugh.
A comedy, really?
It's a comedy about abortion. It's cross between Road Trip, they said, and it's about abortion. Yeah, go and check it out. It's called.
Listen, I understand the right to choose and all the rest of this, but I mean, making a comedy out of something like that, I don't see it.
It's called Unpregnant. So go and check out the synopsis there. Check it out for yourselves. It's a vile, disgusting film. I don't care where you stand on it. We shouldn't be making films like that. Everybody can have their arguments and
that's very propagandist
in the right forums that they're supposed to be. But to actually put it on a movie and to put your side of the argument across without putting the other side is fucking vile. And with that, I'm finished. Good night. God bless to you all. And enjoy the rest of your week. And I will be back with you, right? Don't worry. I'm staying around. Nobody be dancing on my grave anytime soon. Good luck.